May we all be seated. Honorable members, before we proceed with today's business, I wish to announce that the vacancies which occurred in the National Assembly owing to the resignation of Dr. M.Q. Ndlozi and Mr. Y. Yetana have been filled with effect from 5 February 2025 by the nominations of Ms. N.M. Hlongo and Mr. C. Matiwane, respectively. The members have made and subscribed to the oath in the Speaker's office. I welcome the new members to this august assembly as full members of the National Assembly. Honorable members, the debate on an urgent matter of the national public importance in terms of Rule 130. And this is the only item on the order paper and is a debate on an urgent matter of national public importance in terms of Rule 130 in the name of Mr. C. Hatting on the recent casualties incurred by the South African National Defence Force in the Democratic Republic of Congo and their implications for the Defence Force. Honorable members, when we speak, we will have to be a bit louder because we are contending with the noise as a result of the wind in this dome. Honorable Hatting.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for granting this urgent debate. Let us honour our fallen. Our deepest condolences goes to the family and to the South African National Defence Force. We honour our soldiers who lost their lives, not just in the Eastern DRC, but also in the Samuel vehicle accident on Friday. We stand with our soldiers, the wounded, those who will carry lifelong scars, and those still in the fight. But let's be clear, our soldiers did not die in the DRC in the defense of the defenseless, as the President claimed. They were part of a well-planned, not part of a well-planned peacekeeping mission. They were thrown into battle, ill-equipped, underfunded, and without critical support in one of the world's longest-running and most brutal conflicts. They fought alongside the DRC armed forces against the well-trained, well-equipped M23 rebels. Yet their own government sent them into war unprepared. The lack of accountability for these operational failures speak to wider issues of both governance and leadership. The President and the Minister must be held accountable for failing to prioritize the safety and effectiveness of our troops. Only on Tuesday, the Minister of Defence, in her staggering ignorance, said, "We are not going to war. We are not taking all our power. We only take what we need to protect ourselves." This was her excuse for the absence of close air support, our Rooivalk attack helicopters. She deliberately avoided the truth. Our air capability has collapsed due to years of neglect, mismanagement, budget cuts, and looting during the 9 wasted years of state capture. She also evaded and refused to answer serious questions in the Joint Standing Committee about what advice and warnings were given to her and the President when they considered this farce of a deployment. We have now seen the price of her failed leadership. For more than a decade, warnings about the SANDF's weaknesses have been ignored, and now we are paying the ultimate price. Our forces were deployed under SAMI DRC to support the DRC government to combat armed groups like M23. But let's be honest, the mission is a failure. SADC forces were overrun, surrounded and humiliated. The Malawian Defence Force has already withdrawn. Why? Because this mission was doomed from the beginning. There is no strategy, no coordination, no sustainable logistics. The SADC troops have been outmaneuvered and outgunned, their presence making no difference on the battlefield. Some SADC nations see this as a peacekeeping effort. Others rightfully believe it's all-out war. The lack of unity has led to chaos, weakness, and repeated failure. We now only have two choices: negotiate an orderly withdrawal before more lives are lost, or launch a major, well-coordinated military offensive to retake key areas. But let's be realistic. A successful offensive would require more troops and equipment, efficient logistics, air power, and strategic leadership, none of which SADC or the SANDF has demonstrated the ability to provide. That leaves only one option: follow Malawi's lead, repatriate our dead, negotiate safe passage for our wounded, our surviving troops, and our equipment. Get out. Then we must face the truth. The SANDF is broken. We need to go back to the drawing board, reassess our entire defense strategy, and rebuild our armed forces from the ground up to the level of the competence that South Africa needs. And for that, we need leadership. Strong, decisive, competent leadership. Something the SANDF has not seen in a very long time. Even the SANDF's official X account, that's Twitter account, posted this damning statement, and I quote, "One day we will know the real reason President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed Angie Motshekga as the Minister of Defense. For now, it simply doesn't make sense." I close the quote. We agree. They are right. It doesn't make sense. Let me make this clear. We need to withdraw from the DRC immediately, and Minister Angie Motshekga must go, voluntarily or otherwise. The time for excuses is over. Lives are at stake. Leadership is failing, and South Africa cannot afford to stand by watching the predicted life-costing humiliation unfolding any longer. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable KMN Kigaba.